Now, what was really interesting to me is the county lookup, because we think that everything is based on the state, basically where you live. If you live in one of these so-called backward states or states where education is not very good, that is the whole state. But if you look at this, it's really not true at all, because in every single state, there are places where reading is much better and places where it's worse. So I'm just going to take South Carolina for an example. I used to work in Berkeley County, so let's look at that. So Berkeley County adults are actually a little bit higher than the state average and a little bit higher than the national average. But Berkeley County has a lot of industry. It's got a lot of wealthy retirees who have moved down there because of the weather. Similar pattern in Charleston County. Colleton County is a neighboring county pretty close to where I'm living now, and it's 248. Whereas if we go to Dorchester County, which is adjoining and is actually the county I'm in now, it's higher than the average. It's 260. But again, just one county over, it's 248. So this shows you the great inequity that is going on. So why is that? So what's interesting is I have a map here of poverty. So this explains the amount of poor people, the amount of people who are living in poverty, which actually in the United States is a pretty low threshold. Most people who live below that threshold are very, very poor. There are a lot of people who are really struggling who technically aren't living in poverty according to the definition. So if I go, let's go to Colleton County, which is what I was looking at. 21.8% of the people are living in poverty, which again is a very low threshold. So a lot of people are struggling there. And this is relatively old data. It's just how it is. Now let's go to Dorchester County, which is my county. Only 12% are in poverty, and their reading levels much, much higher. So if I zoom out, let's look at the national map. This map is actually pretty similar to this map. If you look at South Carolina, the cities on the coast and Columbia, which is in the middle, and some places in the upstate, the northern part of South Carolina, they are relatively doing okay as far as poverty. But then you've got these other communities that are doing very poorly. And a lot of them are rural communities, and they're having a hard time. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about briefly, is that I feel like in this country we think of poverty as an urban problem, and there is a lot of urban poverty. It happens, but there's a lot of rural poverty, and people don't think about that much. That many times our rural school systems and our rural school districts are really struggling. And part of that is poverty. And a part of that is resources also, because those communities don't have as much money for their schools.